Hey, hey, it's Friday. It's Friday, 3D Friday here on Cricut Chat. Hello. Just coming by to talk to you about doing a 3D paper project, which is what we always do here on Fridays on Cricut Chat. And if maybe this is all you like, then come visit us on Fridays only. That's fine. But during the week, we do all kinds of things, not just paper projects. Let's see, we've been working with a rhinestone setter. We've been working with our easy press and some iron-on this week. And so if you missed anything, definitely check the YouTube channel because all of those videos are there. And hey, while you're there, could you subscribe, like, share, and do all that fun stuff? We're not having a giveaway just yet. We'll have to wait until the new month. But this is just so that we can increase our audience, and we like new friends. We especially like new friends during the chat, but we like new friends anytime. And we're looking for some people who love paper crafting like us to join us as we do paper crafts or Cricut crafting, because we're venturing out a little bit into like crafting with the Cricut. And so I think it's a pretty unique channel. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think it's really shaped into a pretty unique channel. And I was actually downtown in my hometown, Peabody, and they have this thing I've mentioned before called Culture House. It's like a pop-up living room, I guess is what you'd call it. It's like a community area. And I was talking with a teenager still in high school, and she knew all about offset and kerning and design space and everything. And I was like, wow, I think that Cricut is sort of hitting the mainstream. And that wasn't really the case a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. So I think that that's really cool because people wonder, oh, how long have you been doing this? A lot of people think they've been doing it a long time if they've been doing it for a year. And I tell them, well, I'm almost at 10 years working with the Cricut. So I love us too. Hi from British Columbia, Alexis. Hi. Welcome. So today's Friday and it is 3D Friday. So we always tackle a project that is a little more dimensional on Friday. And so today we're going to do this really lovely box. It's called a compass gift box. It's from Dreaming Tree. It is part of a set that they had a couple years ago called Good for Guys. I don't know, kind of a funny set, but it has a really nice box on there. But this is a gift box that we're going to do. So you can either buy this set or buy the compass box by itself. It's $2.99. They do have a brand new the way they work is that they have like a free gift every couple weeks, maybe every 3 weeks. And this is the free gift. So you, if you want to get the free gift, which we are going to be doing this one because I love it. We're going to be doing this. I'm just waiting for my sand colored paper to come in. So what you do to get the free gift is you have to purchase, I don't know what it is, like $9.98. Yeah. Spend $9.98 in the shop. And then when you get to $9.98 in your account, you type in free gift and it will automatically put this free gift into your order. And then once you purchase it, let's go to my account so you can see all of my little downloads here. Where are my downloadable products? Here they are. So the great thing about Dreaming Tree is you can download forever. You don't have to be limited. And this is a good thing because their downloads are pretty big and sometimes it's hard to remember where you put them all. And then remember, you have to come over into Design Space and upload all of these pieces separately. So let me just save this, and I want to just show you how you do that. You'd start with a new canvas and you'd go to upload, okay? And then what you would do is you would upload the images. I'm just going to show you. These are all my uploaded images. And you can see there's a sandcastle coming up. So generally speaking, I would remove these after I upload, and then I just save my SVGs. But sometimes I keep things in here so I could show you and stuff. So we're going to go to upload here, and we're going to choose this upload image. Okay, so let's choose upload image, and we're going to choose browse. And then it will bring me to my downloads file, which is where the file from Dreaming Tree should be. My computer's very slow, by the way. But because this is not a brand new product for me, I will be going into my all SVGs files and going to my Dreaming Tree files and looking for the compass gift box, which is what it's called. Now, Dreaming Tree files are a little different than Lori Whitlock or even SVG cuts or some of the others because they're separated by color, and that makes it a little more time consuming. So here's Compass Gift Box, and you usually get a picture and a PDF, which is sort of like tells you everything that's on this file. And then you have this folder that says SVG. So you're going to go into this folder and you're going to upload all of these. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 elements. You're going to upload them. You have to do this individually. So you click on one and you hit open, and then you just update it. Naming it's not super important, but this is what you would do. So you would know. Okay. So we're just going to go and upload all of these pieces, right? And I'm just showing you exactly what you're going to have to do to make this happen. Sometimes the pieces look similar, and sometimes you get a little bit like confused. So if you accidentally download it twice, you could just remove it. I'm going to show you how to remove them just so that you know. And let's see. So here is this box. Now it's an octagon, and it is very easy. It's very easy to put together. It's a pretty simple box, even though it looks pretty complicated. It's really not. And it just has this very nice compass kind of design on the top. I am using slightly different colors than they used in their finished project. I'm using a paper pad called, it's actually from Michaels. It's called Let's Get Lost. You see that? Let's Get Lost. And it is from Michaels, right? Yes. Recollections brand, Let's Get Lost. And it's really cool because it has like, I couldn't find the old map style. I do have them somewhere, but I couldn't find them. So I figured why not do some things that were sort of like travel related, and I wanted to use this color peach and this color green. Okay. Yes, you could also drag and drop. It is easier. You're right. So, but this is sort of the way that I learned. So anyway, if you ever want to delete your uploads, you just need to click on that I and choose delete. Now, once you do that, you have to you have to then come up here at the top. It says, are you sure you want to delete this image? And you say yes or no. This one we don't want to delete, but because we're going to pull these all in. And so that's what we're doing. We're pulling these all in. Once you pull them in, make sure to get all of the pieces. Remember I said there were 10. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Once you bring them all in, it can look a bit jumbly here. So, you know, if it helps, you can like turn the eye off, so whatever, you can turn off the, you can see it part, but I just sort of, I usually just sort of zoom out so I can see all the pieces. Dreaming Tree has some really big files. They do obviously do a lot of 3D, and so their files are pretty big, and they do lots of things like boxes, and they have lots of cards too, but mostly they do like centerpieces and boxes and things like that. And they can get a little overwhelming because there's so many pieces. So let me just spread it out for you and just sort of show you what we're doing here. So these are like elements for just the designs. I'm going to just move them over. This is the main piece that we're going to do the box with. You see that this is a bottom, and this is also another bottom, but they often do that to sort of shore up the bottom so that it's not really flimsy. And then these are the sides. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8. So we have 8 sides, making it an octagon, and this is the top. When we bring these into Design Space, they do not have score lines. They have something called dashed cut lines, and that's what these are. Unfortunately, because of the way the designers are working with Design Space, their dash cut lines need to be attached. They look like they're attached, but they're really not. So you'll have to go through and click on each piece and make sure that they're attached. Otherwise, you're going to get to, when you go to try to cut this, all those cut lines will appear separately on nothing. And if you aren't paying attention, it will basically cut on nothing. It's really weird. So we have to go down to the bottom here. And let's attach. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and attach all of these pieces, and I would check. Sometimes some of their pieces, they don't look like they have dash cut lines, but they do, such as this one, which is what we're going to use as the sort of finial on the top of the box. So we need to make sure that that's attached. I don't think any of these other pieces need attaching. Whoops. Let me go and check. So you're going to cut these out. Now, I sometimes, let's see. Oh, this one needs to be attached. Now, sometimes I will just cut out the project, the base, like the box top and bottom, if I am not quite ready to like pick a paper that I want to use. But other times I'll just cut it out all together. We're not going to cut anything today because I don't think that I need to show you that. But this is on the the Maker 3. And because this is a paper project, we're going to choose on matte. Now, you could use some of the adhesive cardstock on this, but not really on the base. See, this is what I was talking about. You see this? It looks like there's nothing on the screen, but there's actually 4 little cuts right here. That means one of these pieces I did not attach. So let's see which one it is. Is it this one? Yes, it sure is. They put little notches here so that I would know where things go. So I have to attach that. I'm going to make it again. I'm going to choose on the mat, and here you go. So this is not a terribly big Dreaming Tree box. It's 10 matte, so 4 of which are in the base color. You'll find that out on the PDF. And then they've got different things for the accent pieces. So these are all accent pieces that are going to be going on, and this is the main piece. So we're going to cut that out, and I'm going to bring you down to put this together. So let me bring you down here. So as I mentioned, I wanted to use this paper. It's called Let's Get Lost, and it's by Michaels and a Recollections brand. I don't know if it's actually Michaels or whatever, but it's a brand that you can find at Michaels. And I really liked this coloring bit that's like kind of peachy pink and some of these aqua colors. So that's what I chose. And then as the base, I just chose this really nice light blue because I thought it was complementary. Okay, so these pieces are all extra. We're going to put those aside. Let's just focus on putting the bottom of the box together first. So the bottom of the box consists of 2 octagon pieces. They look like stop signs, right? And then you have these 4 pieces which have 2 panels on each. You're going to fold at all of the dashed cut lines because they serve as score. And I like to fold both ways just to give some flexibility to the project. So that's what I'm doing. I'm folding at all of those dashed cut lines and just refolding. Okay, so there are 4 of these pieces, and we're going to put them all together in a strip, and then we will put the panels on. I'll show you a few cute little tricks of putting some things on here that you might like. Okay, so here's all 4 of them, and you're going to line them up so that the tabs are next to, this tab is next to a non-tabbed side. So that's if you accidentally turn something over and you end up with 2 tabs together, you know that you have it wrong. It's always going to be a tab on a flat cut side, okay? And then we're just going to put some glue on the edge here. And we're going to try to get as close to the, excuse me, as close to that score line or that edge. And it helps if you fold it like this and sort of look at it. This will affect the way the box is shaped, so do try to get it as close as you can. Do your best. You know, it's not rocket science either, so you do your best. And I'll admit that I often put these things together 2, 3, sometimes even more times, so it might look easy for me, but it's only because I have done this project before. So take your time and don't rush because you don't have to. All right, so we put all 4 of those pieces. I'm going to make sure this one is really close up to that side. You'll have to give it a few seconds to dry. I will point out that I use this glue, Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. There's another glue also on the market for paper, and it's called Art Glitter Glue. Both of them are great. I just happen to really like the spout or the nozzle on this one, but they're both great for paper glue. However, you don't need to use those. If you want to use just a plain old white glue or whatever, you can. Just don't use a whole lot, okay? You're going to keep it on the low side because, you can always go back. Excuse me. You can always go back and add more. And also, if you put too much on it, it can tend to weaken the paper and make it look wavy or whatever. So here's what I did was I folded it up so that it would turn into a closed loop. Okay, so there's 2 4 showing on this side and 2 4 showing on this side. Now before we make it the actual bottom of the box, let's do some decorating. These are the panels that I chose, and you'll see that they have, this is the paper I chose, I should say. They have these notches here, and so we're going to put them on, and there's also these little notches all around, so I thought we would use some of these sort of, what do they call these, dots, enamel dots, but to me they look like tacks, like brass tacks, and I thought brass and a compass, it kind of goes, so I thought, let's use that. Now, oftentimes people will ask me, you know, how do I choose the color of the paper? I have a tendency, because I don't make things exactly the way that they always instruct, because I'm not, they're very masculine as far as Dreaming Tree goes. They're very masculine colors a lot of times, and they also have access to a whole range of the AC, the American cardstock colors, and I don't. So I often go by the rule of 3s. So I try to pick up 3 colors. One, if it's darker, I will make that the least used. So this dark green, that sort of, or this darker part of the peach, but I'm going to use peach, and then I have this contrasting green, and then the blue. I think it's going to look real nice. It's maybe not going to look exactly like theirs, but it's going to look like I made it, which is the important thing. So we're putting that here, and just so you can see how this looks on the side, I did use a darker blue for this one, but I wanted to use this light blue. I thought that would look kind of fun, like the ocean. And we're just lining it up here, turn it over, and put those pieces. I know it might seem you put the dashed, or that you put these little notched pieces at the top, so that's why I wanted to point out they go on the bottom. And, because remember, this is going to be the opening of the box. This goes together really quickly. It just looks big and daunting. It's really not. And I do keep a little space out and around here. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what he suggested. I say he, it means Leo from Dreaming Tree. Also, if you're looking for this file, I did post a link. I'll make sure that there's a link posted in the description of the video. So if you want to get it and you're watching this after the fact, whoa, you can certainly pick it up at the description. Okay? Or in the description. Okay, so I thought that we would use these enamel dots just as a decorative element, and I bought these from AC Moore back in the day so they haven't been in business for over a year. So what I found out was some of the glue parts that make them stick have turned not so good, and so I'm going to glue these on. So I'm just going to put 2 little dots on each corner like this. This actually has, I think, 3 different sizes, so I'm going to take the small size for this part. It might still have glue on it, that's okay, but I think considering how old they are, I wanted to give that extra assurance that I have some glue on there. And if we need to, we will use our tweezers. Hey, so speaking of tweezers, I know I've been talking about this for all week, but I am getting really into the rhinestones, and I think next week we will do a couple of very interesting projects. I figured out how to really incorporate the Cricut. Like right now you can find the rhinestone templates on the Cricut site, but they're very basic, and I'm going to show you how to sort of actually cut out using a rhinestone type of a template paper. It's not really paper. It's like a fuzzy flocked paper with adhesive. And then what you do is you run the rhinestones. You do not have to place the rhinestones one by one like I'm doing with these. You actually just pour a whole bunch right on that template, and you run a little brush along it, and all of the rhinestones magically, I don't know how, but they magically face up in your template. It's such a neat trick. I saw somebody do it on YouTube, and I thought I have to do that, because placing these individually is a little daunting when you consider that, you know, you might want to do a pretty big piece. The other thing I'm learning is size. With rhinestones, they do sizes, and they call them SS sizes. I don't know what the SS stands for. It's possible it stands for size. I don't know. So I don't know what it stands for. It might be something having to do with electronics, but it's also done in measurement. So I found that the size does matter for doing these projects. So when you're cutting out a template, depending on how it was created, this one's not wanting to stick. You have to have the right size stone to use. And I am putting these on all wrong, but you guys, you'll do better. You'll do better. Okay, so here we go. Anything to make it look sort of interesting, right? So the other thing is that rhinestones generally, I think, are made to go on fabric. And so we've been doing it, and we've been doing it on paper. So I actually like that effect, but might as well branch out and try and see what it looks like on fabric, because a lot of people like to make t-shirts. Yesterday we made a USA t-shirt, and instead of the rhinestones, because they didn't come in, we used glitter. But this is always nice to have a different option. So in case you don't like working with glitter, HTV, you could use rhinestones. But the idea of having a template that's all cut out in all of the dots, and then just sort of pouring the dots. These, I'm having trouble with the glue on the back of these, but and just pouring the dots on there and having them almost all of them sort of show facing up is pretty sweet. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I actually almost was like, maybe I should get a silhouette, because they actually have a way to turn a design into rhinestone template. And so then I just said, well, you know what, I'm just going to mention that to the Cricut folks, because maybe they could do that too. Nothing wrong with that, right? I should hope not. All right, this is taking way longer than I wanted it to. So maybe I should have waited until the end to do this, but we'll just keep going. We'll persevere. I hope I have enough here. So as I mentioned before, I'm on my way to the Great North Woods in New Hampshire, which is If you don't know where that is, it's right up by Canada. I will go to the border and wave to my friends, my Canadian friends, Bren and Dawn and Teresa. It's up from New Hampshire's the stone's throw from the Canadian border, which is kind of cool. I don't think the border is actually open, so can't possibly go there this time around. Look, I'm run out of these, so let me grab this one. But my mom lives up there, so we're going to go visit. Owen's coming with, and my sister's coming. We're not taking the dogs or anything because we're driving in my car and they are just too rambunctious. So I have somebody coming to stay with the dogs. And I won't be, they have terrible internet there, and just my mom does not have Wi-Fi. So, yeah, wave back at me. So, my mom does not have Wi-Fi, so there won't be a show on Saturday night, but I'll be back on Monday with a bunch more projects. And this will be a fun, we're going to have a really great summer. We have so many things. I have so many things I want to show you, not just rhinestones, but I want to talk keychains and some more, because we have all that infusible ink, and we've got to use our mug presses and use infusible ink because we have it. I have it coming out of my ears. I happened to buy one of those, I think it was called the Infusible Ink Cool Tones or something like that. And so I have that, and then I got that Man Cave one, and I'm like, yo, I have too much. Okay, so you see what I did here is I put, deboss tool, we got to do that too, is I put the glue on the inside edge of this tab, and then I'm just going to carefully fold it down like this. We have a lot of tools we need to go over, not just the deboss. Okay, and then I'm going to take one of these two pieces, and I think they're exactly the same. They appear to be exactly the same. So we're going to put one on the inside and one on the outside. So just have to lay it in there. That's why we put the glue on that side, and you can just sort of kind of eyeball it, make sure that it's all up against the side like this, or you can use, if you want, can use the back of a tool or something like that to make sure that it's real caught on there good and it's very tight. Now, I know what you're probably thinking is, but you're going to see that tab, but that's what the second piece is for. So we're going to turn it over once we get that tab sort of hitched in, just like that. But I want to make sure that these guys go in. This is what I meant about making sure that you're putting it correctly on the edges, because it looks like I didn't do that here. That's my fault. That's not the fault of this design. You see that? I didn't put this together quite so correctly somewhere, and so now I have a little bit of a gap, but that's okay. Wabi sabi hobby. I'm gonna use that. That's gonna become my catchphrase. Wabi sabi hobby. And so now I'm putting glue. I want to put it on all of these edges. Yes, of course, getting close to the edge, but I want to put a little bit here too. Again, not a ton, and just kind of getting it here. And then we're going to take that other piece and put it on, and just make sure it's all in that corner. Again, you can, once you have that on there, you can flip it over and sort of press like this. and just allow it to dry. And there is our box bottom. So cute. I just like the size of this. I don't know. I just like the way that it is. So there is the bottom of the box. Now, just so you know, the top has like this compass on it, and we're going to go over how to put the compass, but you don't have to do that. You can make this very feminine and do it in like flowers or something like that and dispose of the compass. I think this was supposed to be for like Father's Day. So that's why it's got like kind of manly things on it. And so, you know, you do whatever you want. What would look really good is a bunch of flowers on this box and, you know, maybe some sort of Victorian looking paper. But we're going to put it together the way that they described it. So this is the top. It's pretty simple. As far as tops go, there are tabs all around that go down, and then you'll see that there is like this, there's like what is that, an arrow? And we're going to sort of close it up like this. But before we do that, we're going to decorate the sides. And let me grab those pieces. This is where all these little pieces start coming into play. And these are the pieces that I chose because I think that was going to look real good. So, let's see if I make sure that I have all those pieces. There's one. Need one more. Where is it? Oh, I've been sort of rushing around because, yeah, here it is. Because trying to get ready for my trip and everything. And yesterday we were out and we ended up being out for a couple hours and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't been, aside from visiting my mother in November of last year, I haven't really been far from home since right before the pandemic. I was in Utah in January of 2020, and then just a few weeks later, then the pandemic sort of started hitting. And I remember when I first heard about it was we were at a funeral actually, and my uncle had passed, and I remember talking to my aunt and you know, saying, gee, they were saying, what's gonna happen with this? And I said, nobody knew. So it's kind of interesting, I think, going out into the world now that the pandemic is over. We were so cautious and wearing, you know, and of course I was going through treatment as well, but we were so cautious and everything and so afraid. And now you go to places and people aren't wearing masks and you're thinking, should I wear a mask? Should I not wear a mask? So I think it's just sort of like based on your level of, you know, concern. If you have a very low immunity or something, or maybe you're not vaccinated. But here in Massachusetts, I think like 75% of the people, or not quite so, I think it's 70% of the people are vaccinated, which is pretty cool. And they're even going to have a lottery. So, all right, I cut this out in 2 different colors. I cut this out in this, and then I cut it out in this, and then it has this piece on the top. I kind of like the way this looks, so I'm going to go with that, and it's just a glue situation. Glue it all down. There I go, talking too much again. But what's kind of interesting going to New Hampshire, even though New Hampshire is is just one state away. They had a very different experience up there, and like my mom was feeling a little bit like, gee, nobody's taking this very seriously. And then it hit them sort of after the fact. I think they were thinking, yeah, we're New Hampshire, we don't get it. And they did. It just came late, and it kind of scared them. So they handled it. They handled it well, I think, after the fact. But you definitely can't travel. I don't think you can travel to Canada the way people were used to doing. I think the border is still closed, or it's highly regulated. What's really funny is, you watch TV and you see all these borders and you see all the police and everything, but you go to Canada, to the border in Canada, and you're like, there's practically no one there, and it's so like laid back. You're like, this got to be the Canada border, because I would imagine the Mexican border is much more scary looking, So this is that. And so now we're going to start putting the cover together, and then the last piece we'll do is the compass on top, and we'll be done. I think this would be really a fun gift to make for someone going away to college for the first time, or maybe somebody who was planning a trip. And you didn't, you just kind of want to give them a little bon voyage kit, maybe something with like snacks in it. Maybe they'll keep the box and put their little mementos. You always come back with something from trips, right? These little doohickeys, maybe some sand or whatever. So somebody that's going on a trip, but I think it would be fun to give to like a graduate that's going away to college, and filling it up with different things of their hometown. I know when I went to school, which I went to upstate New York, sort of halfway between Buffalo and Albany, it was in a little town near where was it near? Colgate University. And it was kind of nice because, well, what wasn't nice was I had a really bad accent then. And so everybody that went there like made fun of me with my accent. But also, I was from away. A lot of the kids were from, a lot of the students there were from New York. So I was different. And I think that's when I learned that it's good and okay to be different. And it makes you sort of unique, and you can sort of really get to know people that way. Okay, so here's the top. Isn't that cute? It went together so quickly, but we still have to do some little things on the top. So we have, let me just grab these pieces over here. It's like a compass. It's like an oversized, it's not a working compass, just in case you were wondering. It's just sort of a north, south, east, west kind of compass thing. And so here are all the letters for that. And then the pieces are here. I cut out quite a few of them because I thought, might as well cut them out. And then there's this star here. I think what we'll do is probably use this peachy color for that. So we have these two pieces that are going to make up the star on the top. That's going to be like the compass. And then we'll have our little north, south, east, and west, right? So here's east and north. Make sure you put your letters on correctly, or people will make fun of you. And so these gonna get glued on. And where'd my west go? Oh, it's over here. North, south, east, west. And then the compass consists of two layers. So there's the bottom layer, which looks like this, and that you can take and put this over here. I'm going to use the blue, I think. Take this. So it gives it dimension without being dimensional. You see that? So we're going to just put that on there. Now that's like a little trick of the eye. Gives it by changing the color out. Okay. And that's going to be the bottom piece, so we'll put that over there. And then the top piece is this, it's cut, it's a square, it's cut on these 4 sides. And then there's a lot of dashed cut lines here. It folds like this. And it creates sort of the star. This is the dimensional portion of the star. Just make sure you folded it all in all the places. I'm actually having a little bit of like agita about leaving all my machines because I haven't gone a day without Cricut basically for the last pretty much a year, which is kind of fun and strange. And to not have, yeah, it's been, I mean, even when I was sick, I was cricketing. So, so yeah, a little weird. Okay. And so these are just sort of accent pieces, going to give it that 3-dimensionalness. Going to put that on, but only on one side of the star. I suppose I could bring my joy, but I just won't have time because I'm sure we'll be going outside a lot. It is beautiful up there, and my mom likes to walk, and so she has a dog, but he's kind of on his last legs. That's what she's always like calling me. How do you know when it's time? It's like, well, you just kind of know. And it's kind of an interesting story, that dog, because I actually picked him up at the shelter. This was way back, obviously, because the dog is older. And he was from, like, I don't know, North Carolina. Look, I can't find the other piece. He was from, like, North Carolina. Big, shaggy dog, but he kind of reminded me of a corgi. So it turns out that he did have corgi mix because he had the dwarfed legs. Anyway, his name was Owen. And the combination of the fact that he looked a little corgi-ish, but he was really fluffy, and his name, and I felt like, yeah, we got to bring this guy home. But then my mom came over and said, oh, I love this dog. And he really liked her because at the time my life was very hectic with Owen. Owen was like 5 then, and he was not as calm and laid back as he is now. And so it was a little chaotic. So I said, well, why don't you take him? And she has been with him ever since, aside from, you know, sometimes I've taken him a little bit, but he's definitely an older person's dog, but he likes to walk. And she's always like, is it time? Is it time? I'm like, why are you looking to get rid of this dog? She loves this dog, but she's like so concerned that and I'm like, most people want to maintain their dog for as long as possible. And she's always like, maybe it has to be. And I'm like, you'll know when it's time. You just know. And sometimes they do it and you don't have to worry about taking them. But more often than not, you do have to take them. But it's like when they lose all desires of life, like eating and wanting to potty outside and, you know, being with you and all of that, then you can think about it. Okay. So this is the store. My sister's texting me like, hey, when are we leaving? I'm like, all right, I told you the time, but okay. So this is pretty interesting, isn't it? And I can't find this other piece here. So, oh well. We're going to take and put this piece here. Just glue it here. And put it in the middle. I think this works. Yeah. There's actually notches. Yeah, see these notches right here? Those are the notches for there. And I just glued, I folded everything, and I made this star look almost like a sand, you know, like a dollar, what do you call it? A sea star or starfish, by folding and gluing on that part, but still keeping that point there. So this is going to go on here. I honestly think that it's probably a good idea to use pop dots for this, because you want it to sort of float above, and I think using glue might not work out as well. It might not stay on there that well because of its dimensionalness. And then the last little thing that goes on is a rosette. I don't know if you like rosettes. I like rosettes, but they can be a little challenging, especially if you do not have hot glue. And I'm going to attempt to do it for today because I want you to see start to finish how this works. But I did also make one ahead of time so that in case I have a failure, you can see how it looks, how it's supposed to look. Okay, so I'm putting a little pop dots on the bottom. You can't really put it here because that's, you know, it's elevated. So I'm putting it on the side here. And here we go. Let's try to get those sort of on there. Okay. So let's go ahead and glue our north, south, east, west business. And then I'll show you this is actually the rosette. Again, probably a good idea to use hot glue with the rosette. But, oh well, I don't have the rosette the hot glue gun available, heated up and everything. So we're going old school on this. Okay, so north, south, there's little spaces here, and they're actually like little circles. We can use our rhinestones or whatever those are, pop dot, whatever, I don't know, enamel bits, enamel dots. North, south, east, and where's west? Oh yeah. Oh, you guys. Nowhere to be found. All right. I'll find it later. Isn't this always the way with me? Oh, here it is. Yay. Found it. But, okay. Just a little tiny bit of glue here. If we want to get real fancy, we can take these medium-sized dots and put them here. They keep sticking to my finger because they have glue, but the glue is not dependable. because they're old. Okay. Yeah, so as soon as I finish this up, I'm going to kiss my puppies goodbye and make sure my pigs are all set, my guinea pigs are all set, and head out. I'm doing the driving. And there's a really nice place, if you know anything about New Hampshire. So they live way, 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 way up there, and or my mom does. And there's a nice place like around Laconia to stop. That is really nice. So, okay, you could glue this on here, but to be honest, I would use hot glue. Or maybe we'll use this pop dot because that'll be a little bit better. And again, I'm going to show you how to make this, but I just thought I would show you this so that you could see the final product anyway. And it's still not very well centered. I don't know. Maybe, let's try just glue. We'll just put a little bit more than we usually do and see if that works. But you guys get your hot glue guns out and use them. Okay, and there is the finished product. Let me show you about the Rosette. Rosettes are a lot of fun, but they can be challenging putting them together. So let me show you how this works. So basically, it's just a strip of paper that has like dashes through here, or you can also, if you're using the Cricut, you can also make them with your scoring wheel. And we're just going to fold. I like to fold it all one way and then I accordion fold it. Just because I want to give it some flexibility, and paper can get flexible by doing these types of folds. So that's what we're doing. So first we're going to fold it all one way. See that? And then we're going to start at one end and we're just going to go back and forth like an accordion, just like this. All right. And be good about not like skipping, you know what I mean? Like you got to really make sure that you're going back and forth so that it does look like an accordion, because look here, see, I didn't, and that's what it would look like. Okay. So back and forth like this. Obviously easier to do this when it's bigger, but this is small, but that's okay. Then you will have this piece that's kind of like a donut. All right. And we're going to look at my accordion. Cool, right? We're going to put a little bit of glue on one end. Actually, maybe a little more than a little bit of glue. And we're going to turn it over into like a circle and attach it end to end. Okay. Give it a second to dry. If you want, you can actually push it like this too. Okay. And do give it a second to dry. Now this piece, and then we're going to put something on top, but this piece is going to be the base. So we can put some glue here on the base. I'm actually surprised it has a hole in it. I couldn't figure out why it had the hole, but I'm sure there was a thought. Wow, look at that. Come on, Rita. All right, so you got the little donut. Just reminds me of donuts. Donuts. The world's most perfect food. No, I think that's ice cream. Okay, so once it's attached, just like this, okay, we're going to, it's better if you work on a flat surface, but we're going to then push it in so that one edge is on the inside and one edge is on the outside. So this takes a little bit of practice and patience, but it is doable, folks. See? But you have to kind of really pay attention here. So this is the look we're going for. A little circle in the middle and then this rosette. But if I let go, it's going to come open again. So definitely you need to be coordinated, and this is why hot glue is good, but otherwise you can just try this. I did do it this way, the other way. So just going to press down so that that glue can catch. And if you want to, you could also put a little bit of glue on the inside edge here. Personally, when I do rosettes, there's usually a little tiny piece that you put on the top. So it's kind of like you're making like a cookie, sandwich cookie, but I don't see that little piece. I have an extra donut. Maybe I can use the donut on there. Like that. And then we can put a big brass piece on there. That might work. But you do need to give it some... Hey, it's working. But it needs a little more glue. I don't think that was the intention, but that's what I'm doing. Actually watched the video for this again, twice actually, so that I could see how he did the top of the rosette, and I don't know, he kind of just glossed over it, or I missed it or something, but I did watch it twice and still didn't get it. Okay, hot glue would be perfect. It would work out really well. So plug in those hot glue guns and everything, and or sit here like I'm doing and wait for the glue to dry, making a mess and, you know, talking to yourself. Well, I'm not talking to myself. Okay, and then I can, since I used that donut, that one's off center, I'll just put this on there. And there's an itty bitty rosette that we're supposed to perch on the top of the little compass, which is odd, but it's cute. It's odd but cute. And oh, I should hi Kathy from Idaho. I should mention or ask you if you want to see more rosettes, because I love making them, and I was thinking that we could make a rosette wreath that looks like fireworks for 4th of July. I've been wanting to do that, and I'd love to show you that, but if, you know, you guys let me know. So that is the project from Dreaming Tree, and it's a really cute box. Think of it in terms of possibilities. I mean, it does look really cute with the compass on the top and using this sort of mappy kind of material, but you can use it the way that it was designed, with the dark blue and a lot of yellows and that vintage map look, or you could change it up completely and turn it into a more feminine look, and it will be, you know, it will be really fun and interesting. So thank you.
Oh, that fell.
Owen's here, which means he's trying to get me off of being online. I'm going to miss you guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday morning. Take care. Bye.
Au revoir.